stupid ass fucking riffs with a fucking dude doing wicka wicka.
Okay.
It's caveman rips and scratching.
So I just want to start the interview. First off, what is knuckle dragging wika core?
That's the only way to describe us.
Okay, can you elaborate maybe?
Stupid ass fucking riffs with a fucking dude doing wicka wicka.
Okay.
It's caveman rips and scratching.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yep.
Perfect way to describe it, I think. So you guys just got off tour with Yosemite and Black, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. How did that go?
It was really bad. They were not good guys. All the shows were rough. Just a really bad experience all around, I think. Conti?
Actually, the complete opposite.
Right. I forgot.
Yeah. It's cool. It's easy to get them confused with another band, but
right.
Yeah. No, we've been very fortunate this time around to be hanging out with a bunch of cool ass dudes. We were overdue for a good hang. They were just as nerdy as we were, and it was pretty cool. So.
No, they were great. They were such good guys. All the shows, honestly, were fantastic, and they were so great live. It was honestly just a really fun time watching them every night, let alone the shows themselves.
Absolutely.
And then where did you guys go for the tour?
So we went down to Florida and back, essentially pivoting out slightly towards the Midwest in like Indiana, and then just working our way back home. Yeah, but basically Florida and back.
Okay, awesome. Sick.
Yeah.
And so you guys have kind of like a deathcore-ish kind of sound. What are some of the artists that have influenced you?
Well, first off, it's knuckle dragging wika core. So let's get that on the record.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think we're all very inspired by a lot of different things. I mean, Resistor has a very collaborative writing process. It's literally all of us in the room. Everyone's bringing in riffs from home. We're all passing the guitar around. So it's hard to pinpoint any few things. But I mean, we love, obviously, heavier bands now like Knocked Loose, Gideon, Kubla Khan. And then we have older influences, obviously, on like the DJ end, like things like Korn, Limp Bizkit, stuff like that. But I mean, on personal levels, you know, I know Conti's has a lot of pop punk ties from early on. I'm into a lot of post-hardcore stuff myself, and obviously we're all into everything in between, but we all bring a lot of individual things to the table that I think ultimately culminates in what we have, which is nice.
Okay, nice.
Drop my vape.
Off of that, how do you guys, I know that you guys have like a bunch of different people doing vocals. How do you decide like who does what?
I think it depends on,
yeah.
Sorry, it really depends on what is going on for the other guys. Like if there's one thing could be a texture thing, one thing could be if Grambo has like our main vocalist has a line that's like really, really demanding.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That might need some help. So I think it goes into a few different things. But Ian, what do you think?
Yeah, I think in terms of like the actual writing of it itself, it's not about like who does what line. It's more about what's going to serve the song. Like there's stuff on the record that is, 95% Grambo because that's what makes sense for the song because that's just what's logical. And then there's a few parts that PD is very heavy in, and there's parts that I'm very heavy in, and then there's stuff all in between. I mean, the nice thing is we have 3 different people doing it with all very different voices. Like in the broadest sense of it, my voice is naturally higher. Grambo is a nice solid mid, and PD has lows. So on a general level, if a high is going to serve the part, I'll say I might want to do it, or Grambo will write it with me doing it in mind, and so on and so forth from there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I think you put that really good. So you guys just released Dead Souls and Petty Fuck. Can you describe to me maybe like the significance of the song?
Well, a central theme in Resistor, lyrically speaking, has always just kind of been the central theme of fuck you. And it doesn't really go that much deeper than that.
Okay.
As far as a central
I'm laughing because that's there. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what Headcase was about. That's what Mutt's about. And it's what this record's about. And spoiler, the next record will probably be about that too.
Okay.
But yeah, Dead Soul is just a really conceptually wise, very simple, straightforward, just kind of fuck you song. And
Okay.
Petty Fuck is Grambo calls it, and he has the line in the song a couple times, his official fuck you song. So that's
Yeah.
the staple on that one. And as the name implies, it is semi-autobiographical.
Okay. And you guys do, right? Do you tend to do lyrics first or instrumentals first and then try to fit something in?
Lyrics are definitely an afterthought.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can only say fuck you so many ways, you know what I mean? But we know that's what it's gonna be for the most part.
Okay.
We all usually sit down with the instrumental first. And then Grambo will get a little bit inspired by whatever's going on in his life. Maybe at the time he sits down to write. And RC, as far as samples and turntables, he likes to wait for Grambo to actually feel the pockets of where he's going to actually do some samples. And then,
right. But then Grambo wants to wait for RC.
Yeah,
So it's a fun back and forth of like, obviously we'll start with the instrumental, like Conti said, and then we'll do some kind of rough vocal thing, which is usually, it stays pretty similar to what it is. But then we send that to RC. He then does his DJ thing, and then based on the DJ thing, we then revisit the vocals again. It's not annoying at all, and it's really simple and easy. So, so at least there's that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then you guys are also having Bite This. Is the significance of like the name Bite This kind of also just like a twist of the fuck you?
No. So that's actually a twist on the petty part, like the petty fuck part. So I actually made a post on my story the other day about, so there's another band that I checked out, and I keep noticing that bands keep going onto Splice and using the same turntable samples. So I think that kind of comes with the pettiness of being like, we have a real one.
Okay.
Try to bite off this.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, definitely not what I expected from that. So
who would have thought it would have been something petty?
And separately, it's just another way to say fuck you. So pleasantly it has that too.
Okay.
It's all lighthearted though. It's all lighthearted.
Yeah, it's all good.
And then about the album artwork, can we talk about how that happened? Because it's definitely a unique album cover.
That one's
idea, yes, putting the head on the plaque.
Yeah, in a sense. But as far as like the actual like accruing of the artwork, we originally wanted to get the idea of getting like a clay design clown was always the thing. The clown's kind of been a central thing on the last couple albums that we've done, or the last two, I should say. And for this one, to do it different, we wanted to do, there's people out there, we see them on Instagram and stuff that do like these clay sculptures that are like real fucked up looking and creepy. And we wanted to get a clown one made. And we found one that was the picture that's on the record, and we loved it. We thought it was sick. We shot a DM to the guy to see if we'd be able to buy it from him. And he said, while that one unfortunately had been sold, he, I believe, actually already, either he really liked us after checking us out or just happened to already be a fan. I forget which one it was. But he was like, yeah, I'll send you guys he's like, I already sold the actual clown, but he's like, let me send you the high-res image. You guys can do whatever you want with it. He's like, I'd be, thrilled to have it on the album cover. And then from there, our vocalist Grambo is a professional graphic designer.
Okay.
And so then he just took it and ran from there, put it on the plaque, and went with that kind of like school picture day background with like the blue sky, dreamy type of thing. That was like a specific vibe we were going for. And yeah, he just took it and ran with it.
That looks super sick. I really like it a lot.
Thank you. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And then how did you guys all meet?
So during 2020, right after probably like 6 months, it's like the summer of 2020, I met Grambo at the skate park.
Okay.
And then I just didn't talk to, like, we just see each other here and there. And then maybe like 9 months later, 10 months later, I joined the band.
Okay.
And then way back when I was like a freshman in high school, I met Peter, our drummer now, in School of Rock, because his dad was like a drum teacher there. And Peter ended up joining a little later. RC was actually friends with our old bass player. They've been friends since they were kids because they were like neighbors.
Okay.
And Ian Yeah, how was it Grambo that you met? Or it wasn't from the Akamana tour, was it?
No, I knew Gary somewhat prior to that, but definitely got closer with him during that tour. Yeah, I went out with a friend's band, Akamana, who happened to be on the run with Resistor, and that's how I met. PD and RC were not in the band yet at that time, but I briefly met Conti there, met Grambo there briefly, and then was getting closer with Gary, the bass player, who was originally the one who pitched me for filling in for him in the first place, which when he had to step back from the group about 2.5 years ago, give or take, that's when I stepped in from there.
Okay. Okay. And then how did you guys all get into music?
So I'll say how I got into guitar and then how I got into music because mine and Conti's music stories are very similar.
Okay.
I got into guitar by I used to be in Boy Scouts and I was maybe 10, 11, something like that. And there was one of the older guys that was a good friend of mine. And he would bring his guitar to like campouts and he was playing like Blink 182 songs and Mike Hem on guitar. And I was like, one, that's sick. And I was like, two, I could probably do that. It doesn't look that hard. And then went, bought a guitar, learned some Blink and Mike Hem songs, and took off from there.
Okay.
But as far as heavy music, it was very, a lot of the new metal stuff gets referred to as older brother core. And that's exactly what got me into it. I was, 12, 13, skateboarding with my friends. And my buddy's older brother came outside with a CD player, brought out like Slipknot CDs, System of a Down, Disturbed, all that like classic new metal stuff. And I was like, this is really good. And then I went home and I downloaded it illegally on LimeWire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, then my story is pretty much about the same. And when I was in like third grade, I tried learning how to play guitar, and it was really bad because they were making me play like the Beatles and stuff. And like third grade me couldn't appreciate that, so I quit. And then years later, like probably going into high school, we'd like skateboard and stuff in the driveway, like the rail, and like make ramps and stuff. And one of my buddy's older brothers started playing like System of a Down, like Red Hot Chili Peppers, grunge, Nirvana, like all that stuff. And then I remember being like, "Oh, I want to play that. Like that's really cool." I got really into it, and then I was like, "Wait a minute, I have a guitar. I should try and play it." And then and that kind of like started it for me.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm so bad at guitar, and then I'm always like, I hear someone do it, I'm like, I should do that again, and then I never end up doing it. So
The key is you have to be okay being terrible for like a
Sure.
bit. And it's real hard to be terrible at stuff.
Mhm. Yeah,
and
no,
keep
I mean,
doing it.
yeah, I have like so much on my plate, so then it
Yeah.
never ends up like working out. Because I work at like a tattoo shop, and then I
Yeah.
also have a course,
Mhm.
so the things never end up balancing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
you
hard
gotta
to
really love it. You gotta
it-
really love it and like really want it to the point where you don't care if you suck pro. You know what I mean? You don't know. You're just enjoying it.
yeah. It's really hard to fit sucking into a busy adult schedule.
Yeah, I already have to suck in enough stuff, like in my
Right.
so it's like trying to improve upon those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is one of like the craziest fan experience that you guys have had?
Well, someone got a tattoo of
Oh my
on New Age Enemy. I forget who the person was that was in
It was
the group at the
Annie.
time. Yeah. Made artwork of everyone that was currently in the band at the time, like this really cool like tattoos. I don't even know like what type of word to use to describe it. This really creative artwork of everyone's face, and someone got a tattoo of Grambo's cartoon face on their leg, I believe it was. That one's pretty crazy. Yeah.
That is really crazy. I gotta think about it for a sec. It might be so for a while we had this one kid who was really into us, and he lives on the West Coast, and he's been like a long time supporter of all the earlier shit. And we always went back and forth. And he was a really nice kid, and we played in Chicago.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly where he lives, but I remember he flew from the West Coast to Chicago and brought a bunch of his friends to come see us. And I remember like I've definitely fangirled over bands before, and like I haven't made a trip that big, I don't think, to see a band, but like to actually meet the kid, because we'd gone back and forth, and we know him, not like crazy, but to see how happy he was and for that sacrifice to come to a show, like it meant a lot to us, probably just as much or if not more than what it meant to him to see us. And it was just to play in some tiny ass record shop.
That's
Like,
great.
and it's really cool to see how happy it makes some people, you know, and how excited they get to meet us. And that's one thing that I do like about where we're at now is we can meet everybody. You know, like we're not getting flooded by people and like there's not a giant line to meet us, you know, like I remember the first time also we signed something. I don't know why, but some kid stole a traffic cone outside and like brought it into the venue. And he's like, "Can you sign this traffic cone?" And we're like, "Yeah, we can sign." Like, why? Like, do you want a CD or something? And he goes, "No, sign the traffic cone." Okay.
And even
But
now, like it's become such a a more steady occurrence where people are wanting us to sign CDs or take pictures with us, and like every single one, it's hard to get over the imposter syndrome sometimes of like, you want to take a picture with us,
why?
like
Why'd you even buy a ticket and come to the show? We suck.
yeah, just some guy, just we're just some guys just like you, but it's really nice and it's very humbling and it's very it the feeling doesn't change regardless of how many times we do it. So it's
Yeah.
been really nice.
That's probably that's the best part is seeing how excited people get and
Okay.
like being able to share it, you know what I mean, with them. So
Yeah, I mean everyone's hope when writing music is that it's going to resonate with people, and it's the biggest thing that I would hope anyone takes away from anything I ever write, in the past, now, or in the future. And actually seeing people go out of their way to, like Conti said, we had people on this past tour that said they drove hours and hours to come see us at these venues, and like you really can't take that for granted, and it really does mean the world to like not only seeing the comments online but actually meeting the people saying it. Like it's definitely been
Absolutely.
great.
Sure, it's definitely good that like you guys are like at that point in your career where you can like be humble and also go out and meet all of the people, which I have like noticed a lot more bands trying to make more in-person connections with their fans, which I do like absolutely love because I
Yeah.
feel like for a while it wasn't as prevalent.
the other thing with that is like it also depends on people's personality because I've seen so many bands have like legitimate like fanatic people, you know,
Okay.
line up and do creepy shit and stuff like that. But I feel like everyone, whenever they come to a show, we always make it a point to talk to everybody. We're not gonna stand on the stage and act like I'm higher than you. Like that's all these a lot of these people who do show up and on our fans, like we end up just becoming friends with them. And it's like it's you know what I mean? Like I don't feel like we have fans. I feel like we've made friends, you know, more so.
Yeah. This past tour is such a good representation of that. Like I'd say at least half the shows that we went to were just friends that we made in those states from coming out to different places where, we had people that came out and put us up in their homes when they didn't have to do that. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
we had a friend that got an Airbnb in Nashville and put us up in it, and it was amazing. We had a friend that put us up in his house. He didn't even come to the show. He couldn't make it there, and he was like, "Yo, just come stay with me." Like, and lots of things in between of just people that came and hung out with us all day at shows. So it's been nice seeing that grow over the years.
Yeah,
It's
that's
also-
awesome.
It's also nicer. Oh, sorry to cut you off, Lou, but it's also nicer, I think, having those connections because, like, when you're gone for so long, you feel like you're like a little piece of home is with you. Like, there's family out there. I don't feel like none of us get chased down and like, attacked and taken pictures of. Like, so it's refreshing too because I've seen the other end of it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And being able to kind of do like music how you want to do it.
Oh yeah.
So that's awesome. And then for like the future of Resistor, can we maybe talk about some of the things you guys have in your timeline?
Talk about some of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now we have we're going out with Filth next month and Two Piece starting on I believe April 10th. We'll be out with them for about a month or so.
Okay.
That'll be our quote unquote album release tour. Obviously it's Filth's headliner, but that's the one we're doing right after the album. And then we're finishing the tour in Long Island on May 3rd.
Yeah.
May 3rd. Yeah, and that'll be again, it's it's Filth's show, but it's quote unquote our album release show. So that'll be a really fun one. We tend not to play at home a lot.
Okay.
So that's one we're really looking forward to and hyping up. Then after that, we're gonna take a couple months at home to keep doing content for the record, do some more music videos, begin
Write some
writing
more
for
music,
the
yeah.
next record. We're hoping to do that, get in the studio sooner than later. to start working on that. Time dependent, obviously.
We also have a Siler. We have the show with Siler next week at the Brooklyn Meadows.
Yep.
That's exciting.
That's going to be their NYC comeback show. First one in, I don't know, 7 years, 8 years, something like that. Maybe a little less. But yeah, we're very excited for that. There's only 3 bands on it, and we're right before Siler. We're super stoked for that one. That's going to be a very intimate, very fun show. So we're very stoked to have been asked to be a part of it.
And then lastly, too, we have something centered around Louder Than Life, although we're not on it, but we're playing with a big inspiration of ours. And
yeah,
probably announce that. Yeah.
Probably, yeah, big inspiration of probably every single member of the band individually, fans of them just in a general sense. Obviously, we can't talk about what it actually is yet, but we're very excited about it. And then probably to finish up the year, we have 1 or 2 tours that we are in talks about right now that'll be a bit longer. That will probably be towards Q4 of the year, like November, like late October, November, something like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, especially the Filth and 2-piece tour. I love both those bands. So I'm like,
we're so excited to go out with them.
Yeah, we've been lucky enough that in such an important year in our own careers and the band's career that we get to play with bands like, we played with Yosemite and Black. We're going to be possibly doing something with Southpaw at the end of the year, and then Filth and 2-piece. Like, these are all bands that are like home. It's like a homie fest. Like, they're our friends, So it's to be able to share such an important year and roll out the record with people who've always supported us, and go out and promote it with them means a lot to us too.
okay.
Yeah, like Yosemite became great friends of ours on this tour. We met them prior to that when they played Long Island with Traders last year. So that's how we got acquainted with them. And then for this Filth 2-piece tour, obviously we've gone out with Filth a couple times in the past. They're some of our closest band friends. And 2-piece we got to meet, actually. We had a tour meet up in October this past year. So we actually got to meet them and share the stage with them in a tour. So they were really cool guys. We got to meet them already. And the other band on the tour, Inferius, we're very good friends with a couple of those guys as well. So it's literally just going to be a straight friend hang for a month. We're super excited about it.
I'm super stoked for you guys. That's super sick.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much wrapping up the interview. I enjoyed talking to you guys very much. So thank you so much for your time. And I can't wait to see what you guys do as a band.
Oh, thank you. This is great.